My name is Kingsley Adaro. I am the CEO of MMS One of Fortune Hall of Fame, the NGO that founded the Woman of Fortune Hall of Fame Cooperative Multipurpose Society. Today we had an inauguration of this same cooperative society. So what we did today is to mark International Women's Day with the theme Accelerate Action, to emphasize the importance of women, the role women play in society, and to let them have more voice in speaking out, marginalization of women and other gender-related issues. So we've had the inauguration of the unveiling and inauguration of the cooperative society today. And essentially what the cooperative is out to do is to see how to assist women in a social-oriented enterprise, how to assist women in their businesses, build capacity in certain areas, and then not just women alone. The cooperative also meant to service men. We have some product there. One product, different product. I think we have about 6 product lines. One is investment and loan. The other is agri-based. The other one is comprehensive cooperative portfolio, which seek to help to manage different agencies, institutions, workers, organize them, workers of those agencies or cooperatives, or institutions, to have a cooperative society outside their institution, to be able to help them assess the basic needs that they should. What essential does cooperative do? To assist people in times of need, basic needs, agricultural needs, and many other things. So that's exactly what happened today. So we're inviting all members, people to join the cooperative. Just a token fee of 5,000 naira. It is automated. The system is automated. You can pay online. Automated. Have your dashboard, assess how much you paid, ascertain your eligibility for loan anytime, any day.
That is why we are women. God has made us with multitasking, and we must show that God has made us strong. So, talk less and show action. Voice plus action, impact! Voice plus action, impact!
I say nobody be confess you. What's running? What's running? What's running? 1, 2, 3, switch it. What have you done to me? I don't know. What have you done to me? I don't know. You leave me.
Voice plus action. Voice plus action. Let's go. Let's go.
I need you for my family. Oh baby, oh, been in love with you for days. Don't know with you for so long. So I'm crazy, oh, girl, I'm crazy over you. Now waiting man go do to make you know. What you want believe if you don't believe me. I'm not deceived, do not deceive me. But my love go past the love you give me. If I fall your hand, go back to it. What you want believe if you don't believe me. I'm not deceived, do not deceive me. My love go past the
Women are sweet. Women are kind. Women are strong. Responsible. Women are friendly. Women are humble. Women are so caring. Women are priceless. Women are unique. Women are wonderful. Women are so special. We are God's sent. Voice plus action. Voice plus action. Voice plus action. Like caring and supportive. Today we are celebrating National Women's Day 2025. Accelerate all action, voice plus action, impact. Voice plus action, impact. Voice plus action, impact.
My name is Chinwe Oka from Efo. I'm a member of WoFHoF initiative, which stands for Women of Fortune Hall of Fame. Yes, we all know that United Nations normally celebrates Women International Day on the 8th of March. But WoFHoF initiative celebrates our own today, being 11th of March, to commemorate with the International Women's Day. And the global theme is Accelerate Action. But for WoFHoF initiative, we target voice plus action equals to impact. And the voice there, yes, over the years we know that women in Nigeria will have the voice, but for some time now there's no action to back up our voices. Women are going through a lot in all their sectors. See the one that's happening right now in National Assembly between Senator Natasha and the Senate President, and women are not coming out to support other women. We have a lot, plenty of women advocacy platform, but the voices are not coming up. We should not forget, injury to one is injury to all. So do not say because it does not concern you, because another woman will not concern, to happen to another woman around you. So let's learn to match our action to our voices to be able to create the impact we want in this nation. Thank you.
We are responsible. Women are so friendly. We are humble. We are so caring. We are priceless. We are unique. We are so wonderful. We are so special. Women are God sent. perfect and wonderfully made by God. Without the women, there is no nation. And a supportive woman, give me a shout. Are we free? The kindest woman should give me a shout. Are we so strong? Are you sure yourself how you're strong? Yes. We are so supportive. We are friendly. Anywhere we go, the women are standing. Without women, this world is never going. Without the am I communicating? We are humble in everywhere. We are so superb. We are caring. We are priceless. We are so priceless. We are unique. You can see how unique we are. Yes, you can see us. It is not by mouth alone. We are so unique. And we are wonderful. We are wonderful. We are wonderful you are. Give me a shout, women. Eyes plus action. Eyes plus action. We are unique. One eye.
Let's listen to the boys of Maxi Harper's up there, listen to number one. Young man, friends for the heart, man. Turn up the
Action! Impact! Boys plus action! Impact! Women are strong! Women are resilient! We are powerful! Yes!
Go to the world.
Train a whole nation.
I'm unavailable. Talk to me.
I know I see.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm unavailable.
Right now, pick up the body right now, let's pick up the body right now, pick up the body right now, let's start.
IWD 2025, together with Force Women Equality, IWD 2025, collectively we can all accept action, voice plus action, voice plus action, voice plus action, women are resourceful, women are strong.
Let that music take over. Just come on, go. Just come on, just come on, just come on, go. Just come on, just come on, just come on, go. Keep on going. Watch your mouth go. Build it. Watch your mouth, see your mission. We love you. Big shout out to Colombo, Colombiana way, you know the year one.
How strong we are. We stand gidigba, isn't it? We stand gidigba, isn't it? No more pulling us back. Without the neck, men cannot function. Give chance. Women are so strong. We are not we are strong. No men can be kitchen. Voice plus action.
My name is Neka Idirigo. Today we are commemorating International Women's Day 2025, and we are saying voice plus action is impact. Without voicing our mind, we cannot act. We must make our voice impactful for things to happen. When we voice out our opinion, there will be an action, and when there is an action, there is an impact. And that is why the theme of this year's International Women's Day is saying accelerate action, voice plus action, impact.
Today is 2025 Women's International Day. We are here to speak for women. We are here to raise our voice as a woman. We are strong as a woman. Women are strong. Women are leaders. One of the days that say women end their education in the kitchen. Today we are here to speak up as a woman.
My name is Mrs. Agbano, my patients. Today we are celebrating women, the voice of the people. We are women in action. We are women. Women are so great. Women are powerful. Without women, there will be nothing in this world. Because we women, we are powerful. We are strong. We are educative. Come some years, the time now, you will be surprised that women will rule the world. Women will be a president in this country. I believe because we are special. We are too caring. We are supportive. We are great. And without women, this country cannot move forward. We, the women, we are crying out today. Our life does not end in the kitchen. We always move forward. Our children are great. And we, the women, we are the best. Thank you, and God bless all the women in Nigeria. In the whole world, we say God bless us all. Amen.
I am Barrister
Modupe Olutaya Rojo. What we are celebrating today is we are doing this in commemoration of the International Women's Day. It's to create awareness for women. As a woman, you need to know your rights in the society. You know, sometimes if you don't know your rights, you'll be trampled upon. So what we are doing just to celebrate women in Nigeria and in diaspora. And this year's theme says voice plus action gives you impact. So as a woman, you need to be aware of yourself and lend your voice to happenings around, and you take action. And by so doing, we will get results. Thank you very much.
End of education in the kitchen. We want to be the voice of the nation. We are mothers. We are wonderful. We are superb. We are so strong. What man can do, woman can do better. Can you give me again? What man can do, woman can do better. Yes, sir. Give woman a chance. My name is Abiodun Fiai. This year we are voice house. Women are voice house. We are no more going to be alone in the kitchen. We want to be in action. We want to talk less and take action. We want to be in charge of everything. E.g., Fela's mother, she stood and stand. So now we want to stand as a woman. We want to stand that we can rule the nation. We are mothers of governors, mothers of presidents. So we want to take charge. What men can do, women can do better. Give us chance. Without the neck, head cannot be moved. So we want to take that authority to be in charge this year. Thank you.
Miss Lovett Afomachukulov Anyebunam. Okay, today we are celebrating International Women's Day 2025 in areas. The theme of this year's program is Accelerate Action, and we tagged into the team and created as voice plus action equals to impact. We just want to encourage women to put in more work in every organization they find themselves. We also ask that they empower each other. Women should not only be talking and talking, they should also put in more action to back up the talk. So we wish every woman happy International Women's Day, and believe in yourself. Know that with God you can do all things, and believe in yourself. Thank you.
We are wonderfully made. Yeah. We are innovative. Yeah. We are ambitious. Yeah. We are time managers. Yeah. We are resilient. Yeah. We are powerful. Yeah. We are strong. Yeah. I mean, we are go-getters. IWD 2025. Voice plus action. Impact. Voice plus action. Impact. Voice plus action. Impact. Yeah. What do you have? Time to show action. Voice plus action. Action. Voice plus action. Impact. Everybody, let's go. What's wrong with touching right now? Don't touch it, father. Last night I was action.
Let that lady by your side. What the fuck to get down? Let that lady cry. I wanna drink what you drink. I wanna sip what you sipping. I wanna smoke what you smoking. I wanna vibe what you vibing. Let's ride. Let's move. Let's ride. Let's move. Let's ride.
Voice plus action. Impact. Drive plus action. Impact. Voice plus action.
Jump the pedal right now. Jump the pedal right now. Jump the pedal right now. Give it a move. Give it a run. Give it a move. Give it a run. This is how we do. This is how we do right now. This is how we do. This is how we do right now.
Never had too much pressure, no. Baby, how come caress me, free up my mind, oh no. Me stress, oh baby.
Voice plus action. Voice plus action. Voice plus action.
If I know they reach you, I know the stress. Señorita, oh you got me stress. Last December, Friday, going beside me.
Women are supportive. Women are sweet. Women are kind. Women are strong and responsible. Women are friendly. Women are humble. Women are caring. Women are priceless. Women are unique. They are wonderful. They are special. They are God's own apple of God's own eye.
Up neck. Let's go. Let them come out.
At this point, we're happy to put the man who has brought us together, the man who has this vision for celebrating women, a convener to share with us an opening remark and set the ball rolling for why we are actually here. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Kingston and Aaron.
Thank you very much, my wonderful MC. Let me start by welcoming everyone here today, and then quickly do one-on-one information, but we're not too many here. I recognize the person of the chairperson today, being Mrs. Northam, who of course is former, but always former director, Human Resources and International Council. I recognize the person of that Amuche, former FOC, Nigerian Navy Security. I recognize the person of Mrs. Bukola, who happens to represent the Commissioner for Commerce, Trade and Cooperative. And then she's a specialist in the area of cooperative management in the state. And then a wonderful Hall of Famer too, who is one of the guest speakers today, Mrs. Temilade Oguni. And then the person of Mrs. Comfort Agoka, Zonal Commander Nati, presented here by our brother here, Mr. Charles, yes? Welcome you all. And then I take time to also recognize every woman and every group that has deemed this event of today very important. It is not easy, especially on a weekday, to call for an event and you have people around to honor that event. And then also, it is my also privilege to also recognize various schools that we had today. We're expecting 3 different schools here today.
And then especially designed to also have them around, because when we're talking about career management and career mentorship, while we do peer-to-peer mentorship and some other things, I think we need younger ones to be in our midst to be able to learn. A testimony I would like to share in that regard is that in 2020, there was a particular, we had a group of schools that came from Badagry and some other places here. Eventually, one of the girls here emerged, a very big pageant in the country, where she went for contest. And then all that she learned from here, she confessed. In fact, a testimony she did that very day there. She learned from the mentorship program she attended here. And another girl again is a girl who emerged, the president of student union president at Lima University, was our mentee here. In fact, we featured her on Facebook and a good number of other social media platforms for a very long time. That she said she was inspired by the mentorship grooming she got here. So I think it's enough for. It is right for one to say it is important to have younger ones at least. And then today is a special day we're marking. Usually every 8th of every March, we celebrate International Women's Day. Of course, we know that it is a culture handed out to us by United Nations. And then we celebrate women globally. And the idea is to see, do a kind of, reflection to see where the progress of women in the area of home management, in the area of career, political, professionalism, and many other areas. And then this year's theme is called, Accelerate Action. And then we, in our usual style here, we usually have our own local team. This year we have it as voice, #voice plus what? Plus action equals to impact. Yes. The idea behind that, to help accentuate what the international team says, accelerate action. Women have been quiet for too long. Forget about going to the market, doing everything you're doing, quiet for too long. A lot of things happen. They say it's a man's world, but I keep telling people it's not a man's world. It's everybody's world. That you're married to a man in the house doesn't mean, all freedom you have as a woman have been taken off. No, I do not support that. Once in a while, you support your husband as should be. This is an action you're taking. And then I am one person who for me, I run a democratic home. Whatever I do, I let the woman know if I have a wife at home. Thank God I have. I let her know what I'm doing. We think through whatever we're doing and then come up with something. It doesn't mean that if her advice is not good enough, I will say, because she said no. We go through certain things. That's what they go. Validation and verification. Okay? But the most important thing is that it is time women stood up for good action. I'll give you an example of what's happening in political scene today. I mentioned a little of this last year in Abuja. Natasha today is going through hell, all because she insisted on seeing things done the way she done. And the good about people said, oh, she has taken too much, she's a woman. On top of that, she's alleging, I am not too sure, she's alleging sexual harassment. But was saying that women should be given that voice talk. And then I asked, how many women in all the women's group in Nigeria? Although lately some of them came, but how many, we expect that things like the women should begin to talk. Incidentally, a good number of the women who are up there don't even talk. Lately, the Kingibe started supporting her. You remember in Abuja, the Kingibe issue came up, where her SA came and said nobody supported the mother, her mother. Now we're having the same thing here, and it's been happening everywhere. We are saying in situations like this, women should support their own. It's important. But the most important thing is that, as a whole of fame, we are calling for government to do what? Do thorough investigation of this woman's sexual harassment allegation. Remember that joining the former MD of NEDC alleged the same sexual harassment about Aquabio. It was swept under the carpet. This one's alleging the same thing again. And then a lot of our Nollywood women, once in a while, mention, but theirs sometimes just about trying to maybe catch food. But we're saying, when it is serious like this, we must, take something, do something serious about it. So we are calling on government to do what? To launch a thorough investigation into this sexual harassment allegation, so that it will begin to stop people from taking advantage of women because they want to, offer them one job or the other. We also know men to take advantage of men, but we're talking about one that's more prevalent. So this year I want to say that as we accelerate action, add voice and add action, and then you get impact. So I congratulate you all for being here today, and then we'll have an array of wonderful guest speakers here who will say things that will touch your life, touch your career, touch your business in different ways. I'm a he for she. Kingsley, are you a he for she? You know what the he for she means? Oh, you don't even know. A he for she means a man who supports women. Do you support women? Chijoke, do you support women? I know I brought you up, you must support women. So cameraman, do you support women? You do? Photo? You support women? Of course, I keep it up, so you must support women. So thank you very much at this point.
At this point, we're hearing from our chairperson today. Our chairperson, like you said earlier, she's not. There are women that love to keep quiet, but when she speaks, you know that somebody has spoken. She's a former director at the Nigerian Shippers Council, and when she retired, the whole of the council shook. It was a celebration. People were in tears. It was many things to many people. So today we are privileged to have her here. She can share with us a wealth of experience, even in the welcome chairperson speech she's going to give us. Please give her a round of applause as she comes. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Chijuke. Our special guest of honor, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medeben, Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperative, represented by Mrs. Oladayo Oki. Our special guests, former Flag Officer, Commanding Sea Training, Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Anthony Amuche, retired. He just says that he's tired. I wanted to say not tired. Yes. Our former president, Association of Nigeria Licensed Consults Agents, Prince Olayiwola Shitu, the founder, MMS Woman of Fortune Hall of Fame Initiative, Mr. Kingsley Analogi. I'm a feminist, I want to add, and his amiable wife, Jimmy. Our guest speakers, Managing Partner, Temerity International Expert Limited, Mrs. Temilade Ogunmiyi. Our second speaker, Head, NAPTIP Zonal Command Lagos, board represented by Mr. Frederick Uchebuko. And our amazing students, our invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good day to you all. I feel privileged and honored to welcome you all to this very important occasion to celebrate the 2025 International Women's Day, organized by MMS Women of Fortune Hall of Fame Initiative. Happy International Women's Day. I want to thank you for your time and dedication to MMS Women of Fortune Hall of Fame Initiative. Permit me to applaud the MMS Women of Fortune Hall of Fame team lead, Mr. Kingsley Anoroke, and his beautiful wife Chinwe for their passion for celebrating and supporting women and girls in their recognition as actors in the world affairs. Under their watch, MMS, Women of Fortune Hall of Fame Initiative, a not-for-profit organization with the objective of empowering, training, and producing next generation of women leaders in various sectors of the economy, has empowered 3,000 women through its microcredit scheme. I thought there should be a round of applause for that. The people that have been empowered include students and business women. Additionally, the initiative holds quarterly capacity building and business management programs for new and micro business owners, which are bearing fruit till today. I'm delighted to acknowledge the special guests and the speakers at today's event who are experts in their chosen fields. It is our belief that your wealth of experiences will rub off on all participants today. As you all know, the International Women's Day is a global day marked every 8th of March for celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for moving towards gender parity, encouraging discussions around challenges and inequalities faced by women globally, empowering women and girls around the world, access to education, personal and family safety, and poverty. The theme for the 2025 edition, Accelerate Action, is in honor of resilient, bold, and inspiring women who nurture, lead, and create change every day, and therefore calls for collective action to build a future where every woman flourishes in order to make our world a better place to live. Distinguished guests, as women, we must appreciate our unique identity and celebrate our potentials. As mothers, we shelter humanity within our femininity. We are God's own smile upon the newborn and the anchor of the growing child in the journey of life. As wives, we are entrenched in the giving of love and life. As daughters, we bring beauty into the heart of the family. As sisters, we offer generosity and trust. We are indeed the salt of the world. So, let us celebrate our deep and unique mystery of simply being women. Though we have come a long way, a long path awaits to be conquered. We need to be awake to defending our own, and we must speak up when it matters. We must intentionally create more rooms for growth and prosperity. There is a must for empowerment through deliberate mentorship, targeted upskilling and reskilling of women for self-sustenance. This speaks to the essence of the unveiling of the Women of Fortune Hall of Fame Cooperative Multipurpose Society, which concept is to grow the culture of savings and investment amongst women and girls, as well as to administer loans for businesses. Distinguished personalities here present, I'm really excited to be part of this program, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Let's therefore make conscious effort to come together regularly to discuss leadership and gender challenges and work together to achieve good success. Let's continue to be there for one another. As it is commonly said, we are stronger together. Yes, we can.
Thank you for listening and enjoy a worldwide day. Thank you very much, Chairperson Ma. We are stronger together. Let's give her a round of applause. I just want to re-echo some of the things she said that really caught my attention. She stressed the position of women. She said the position is to nurture, to hold and to lead change every day. That's beautiful. She also said we must appreciate our unique personality, and says we are women. I'm saying we. I'm a he for she. So it is, when I say he, we, in that sense, I'm referring to women. So she said, women are entrenched with the beauty of producing life. That's beautiful. So we're delving straight to our first speaker, who will be taking us on the topic, quit gender-based violence in work and business place. This lecture will be done by Mrs. Comfort Akboku, the head of NAPTIP Zonal Command Lagos, who is ably represented here by Mr. Uchi Oko. Please give me a round of applause as it comes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The chairperson, all other members on this other side of the table or the hall, and other persons present, a very good afternoon to you all. Like the MC actually said, I'm here on behalf of my zonal commander, NAPTIP, Lagos Zonal Command. That's National Agency for the Provision of Trafficking in Persons, Lagos Zonal Command, located here in Lagos, covering Lagos, Oyo, and Ogun State. My paper, I was made to understand, is on a gender-based violence in business and workplaces. Though I saw something that mentioned the equity, that the sentence, I just saw that here. Then, as you can see, first of all, I want to congratulate and appreciate all women here present on the World Day, on the International Day of Women that was celebrated on 8th of this month. I congratulate you all on behalf of NAPTIP, and we're happy to be here. And I'm happy about the team you created from the team that is accelerating action. That's quite interesting. I don't want to appreciate the presence of students who are here because of their age and their most level. We're talking of human trafficking and gender-based violence. Though I'm here to talk on gender-based violence, but from time to time you could see me mention human trafficking because the consequences of gender-based violence are quite common in human trafficking. So, like I said earlier, gender-based violence in work and business places, a paper presented by me on this occasion. Children, hello. Have any of you heard about gender-based violence? You have never heard of it? And you don't know anything about it? That's lovely. You can see that their coming here is very, very important. And I would like to go too low so that they will understand. Otherwise, they may come here and go home empty-handed. So when we talk about gender violence, students, we are talking of gender violence as violence committed against a person because of his or gender. It is also considered as an act of forcing another person to do something against he or her will through violence, coercion, threat, deception, cultural expectations, or economic means. That is according to the United High Commission for Refugee. We also have gender violence entails any harm or threat of harm inflicted on a person because of male-female power imbalances. Entrenched means deeply rooted within the society. It is believed to be one of the most pacifist human rights violations in the world, as it occurs in every country across all segments of society. That is according to UNICEF. It is so common in our society. Everywhere you go, not only in Nigeria, in our communities, even right in Lagos, in our villages, is so common. Generally, gender-based violence is any act of violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm to any person, including threats of such acts, coercion, or instrument deprivation of liberty, in public or private. In public or private means, as we are here already, we are in public. In private means in our various homes or communities. Both women and men experience gender-based violence, but the most vulnerable are women and girls. And that is also, when you talk about human trafficking, the most vulnerable are women and children. Then when you come between the women and children, the most vulnerable are children. And within the children, the most vulnerable are their children. In our office, you come, if you receive like 5 cases in a month or 20 cases in a month, victims, virtually all of them will be girls, prostitution. Hello. The next slide, please. Then, we now look at forms of gender-based violence. Students, listening very well. This is where you understand what gender-based violence is all about. And we're talking about gender-based violence. We're talking about they are categorized into physical violence. This includes pushing, beating, strangling, injuring or murder with or without weapons. Are you with me? I'm talking to the group. I'm not saying you shouldn't listen, but I want to pay special attention to them. I know why I'm saying this, possibly, but I think with this program, I'll begin to make arrangements whether we come to school and establish the current vanguard we are establishing right now. That is active vanguard, meaning anti-trafficking in persons and violence against persons. We are doing it in every school. Actually, we have done with the federal schools, primary schools, now every other school like state schools in Lagos. So I can capture you at that particular stage. You know these things and know what to do at that very particular point in time. Then we also have psychological violence itself. This includes psychologically abusive behaviors such as controlling, coercion, economic abuse, and blackmail. When we talk about economic abuse, we are talking of a situation whereby in a relationship, either husband and wife, or somebody living with another person, either as male-female relationship, and the person is controlling, the abuser is controlling the other person in terms of what she acquires or what she has to acquire. That is when we are talking of economic abuse, as well as the issue of blackmail. Then we have sexual violence. It is any act or attempted act that is sexual in nature and carried out without the consent of the victim. That is, in this case, the consent of the victim, the person that has fallen a victim, was not gotten. And that is where you have the issue of such as rape, sexual abuse, and harassment, exploitation, and forced prostitution. And that is why I mentioned earlier that I will be from time to time talk about human trafficking. When you talk about human trafficking, in the process of being trafficked, the issue of rape comes in, gender abuse comes in, harassment comes in, exploitation, which is the sole aim of trafficking, is always there. Once you don't have exploitation, it's not a case of human trafficking. And I'm happy, I'm quite sure that the organizers of this program did not make any mistake in inviting NAFTA. I will tell you why we handle human trafficking and gender-based violence captured in Trafficking and VAP Act Provision Act. Then, next slide, please. You have also harmful practice. It includes female genital mutilation, honor killing. Do you know what is honor killing? Honor killing is a situation whereby someone is killed. Maybe a girl was killed by a family as a result of bringing shame, or as a result of you are asked to marry social person and you refuse to marry, and they kill you, or maybe one particular thing you must have done that they felt is a shame to them. That is when you talk about honor killing. You can still Google and check more on the meaning. Forced marriage, where you force you to marry someone. Then you have also discriminatory inheritance rights, where some people are being discriminated. That is what we mean by harmful practices. Then you have domestic violence. This means any act perpetrated on any person in the domestic relationship where such act causes harm or cause imminent harm to the safety, health, or well-being of the person. It's usually between one person and another within the family or committed by family members or people considered as family members living in the same household or not. It could be physical, sexual, psychological, verbal, and economical violence, which is also as economic abuse. Socio-economic violence, this involves excluding a person from participation in society. It may include denial of access to health services, education, work, and denial of civil, social, economic, cultural, and political rights. Next slide. Now, generally, we have consequences of gender-based violence, and some of the consequences include physical injuries, where the person sustains a very severe injury at any part of his body or her body. We have rape and sexual assault that can result in unwanted pregnancies and exposure to HIV or other sexually transmitted infections. That is when somebody is raped, such could come up. We also have complications during pregnancy and birth. You have also social stigma and ostracization. Survivors are mostly subjected to victim blaming or socially ostracized, leaving them at risk of poverty, isolation, and further violence. You also have anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder. All these things come up in the case of human trafficking. Consequences of gender-based violence continued. You have self-harm, depression. In some cases, survivors are forced to marry their perpetrators, one son, while some face retaliation for reporting their experiences, as in the case of honor killing. That is where also the issue of honor killing comes in. And I want to let you know also that we are talking about where people are being forced to marry their perpetrator. You see, even right here in our own case, Nigeria, you see in some places where a widow may be forced to marry the brother, and maybe she doesn't want, and that person is being forced. So such things could come under that condition. Then we also have self-harm. I mentioned that. Okay, barrier to women and girls accessing other life-saving services such as food, shelter, and healthcare. Yes, in the case of a woman that was denied of inheritance, she could lose shelter as well, or other things, including even healthcare and food. Next slide. Then now, role of NAPTIP in combating gender-based violence. That is what we do. The National Agency for Prevention of Trafficking in Persons is the federal government of Nigeria's focal agency in combating the scourge of human trafficking in persons. The agency operates under the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Repression Act 2015, TPA Act 2015. Then what do we do? Trafficking in persons is an organized crime that targets people, especially women and children, for exploitative purposes such as sexual exploitation, forced prostitution, forced labor, bonded labor or debt bondage, domestic servitude, child labor, illegal adoption, organ removal or harvesting, child marriage, forced marriage, slavery, and so on. That is the summary of what trafficking is all about, and which, like I told you earlier, and I keep on saying, has some similarities with the consequences or the forms of gender-based violence. Next slide. Okay. Then, again, also the agency operates under the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, called VAP Act 2015. The VAP Act 2015 was signed into law on 25th May 2015. It empowers the agency to punish persons on violence in private and public life. Like I said earlier, when we talk about private life, we are talking about the one that happens within your family, either by extended family or the nuclear family. Then we talk about public life. It means those that happen outside the family, and that is why we are talking of gender-based violence in business and workplaces. So when you see private, that is the one that happens in the family, but now we are talking of the one that happens in the public. That is the one that covers the issue of business and workplaces. Then the act, which is only operational in FCT, prohibits all forms of violence against persons, punishes offenders, and also provides maximum protection for victims. Remember, I have mentioned the types of violence against gender-based violence, and now the act, I'm telling you that the act prohibits any form of violence, whether psychological, whether sexual, and so on. Irrespective of whichever way it comes, the act is against it, and we get to the point to know some of the prohibitions. The coming into existence of the law brought to a successful conclusion the 14-year-long social and legislative advocacy championed by women's groups and gender activists towards the passage of the law, which is designed to protect women and girls from all forms of violence. Yes. The act is aimed at eliminating violence in private and public life, prohibits all forms of violence, including physical, sexual, psychological, domestic, harmful traditional practices, discrimination against persons, and provide maximum protection and effective remedies for victims and punishment for offenders. What we are saying here, children, hello, is that NAFTIP, apart from fighting the crime of trafficking in persons, and trafficking in persons simply also means human trafficking. When you take somebody from one place to another through the means of threat, deception, transfer, receipt, for the purpose of exploitation, and which comes in forms of sexual exploitation, domestic servitude. Says hello. Do you know the meaning of domestic servitude? You don't know? Do you know about house help? That is domestic servitude. When you employ a child who is less than 12 years, is against the law. I pray a man doesn't have anyone. And if she has one, we will get arrested. But it will not happen. I pray. Thank you. So I'm only just saying this, that apart from knowing about gender-based violence, you need to also know this other aspect, because these are the things we see when you stay in a place. You see children of 12 years, 13 years, 14 years doing prostitution in a brothel. It's quite unfortunate. And you see people being brought in almost last week from people that came from Libya. You see young ones. Again, another set will come by next week through IOM. So they keep on coming. So, what we're saying is that NAFTIP also fights gender-based violence through an act that was enacted in 2015. And through that act, we have certain provisions. For instance, now, the act covers most of the prevalent forms of violence that can be categorized into, I mentioned that. The VAP Act 2015 expansively deals with one of the most vexed forms of sexual violence, that is rape, from which existing panel laws protected only females and limited it to vaginal penetration. Let me tell you this. When we're talking about Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, it covers both men and women. And like I've mentioned to you here, that the first thing there on that act, if you open it, is rape. And that in other laws, when they're talking about rape, they're only talking about female. But this particular act is now covering male and female. It is no more to say that the act has expanded the scope of rape to protect males and to include anal and oral sex as offenses, as well as protect the identity of rape victims. Next slide. Forms of violence in work and business places under VAP Act 2015. So I only looked at those who can, those ones that had to do with business and workplaces. And when you look at them, you have offensive conduct. What does that mean? When a person converts another person by force or threat to engage in any conduct or act, sexual or otherwise, to the detriment of the victim's physical or psychological well-being. That is a very serious offense under the VAP Act. Also, willfully making false statements. When a person willfully makes false statements, whether oral or documentary, in any judicial proceedings under the Act, or with the aim of initiating investigation of criminal proceedings under the Act against another person. Then depriving the person of his or her liberty. When a person deprives another person of his or her liberty, except pursuant to a court order, meaning that it's only when the court says something against you, or maybe under certain condition, according to the court, that your liberty could be curtailed. But outside that, if anybody does it on you while in office, it's against the law according to VAP Act. Then emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse means a pattern, listen children, a pattern of degrading or humiliating conduct towards any person, including repeated insults, ridicule or name calling, repeated threats to cause emotional pain, or the repeated exhibition of obsessive possessiveness, which such a nature will cause invasion of privacy, liberty, integrity, or security. That is what is meant by emotional. You know the meaning of emotional and verbal, psychological. Those that are different from physical. Physical, like I mentioned to you earlier, involve beating, strangling, or being. But in this case, it's emotional. You know, at times our attitude are even more serious, are even more devastating towards certain people, certain person. Not only when you beat the person of a person, but the way you behave or the things you say are quite emotional to that very particular person. That's what we are talking about: emotional, verbal, and physical abuse or violence. Then stalking. Who can tell me among the students what you understand by stalking? You should know this one. I know you will know this one. Oya, tell me.
Means following someone around to know what they are doing, either for good or bad, but following someone around, watching the activities daily. Okay, it means following somebody around, like watching their activities.
Okay, she had a very good idea. And you see, sorry, like I said earlier, I wanted to participate in it because if I just flow and flow and flow, it's good as at least she will know that at least she was able to make a contribution today. That they are the most important people here for now, please. So, you are correct. Means watching or loitering outside of near the building or place where such person resides, works, carries on businesses, studies or happens to be, or following, pursuing or accosting any person in a manner which induces fear or anxiety. And you yourself, you know, this thing is very common in secondary school. A particular boy will be following up and down. Please leave me. Why are you following me? At that age, it's common. That's why I know at least. So it's also against the law. If you report it as a serious case or your parents report it. But it also happens to adults. Like it's been said here, you are stalking somebody. Either going to where the person works or where she does a business, following her around, all those things, to her own discomfort or his discomfort. Next slide, please. Sorry. Administering substance with intent means when a person intentionally administers a substance to or causes a substance to be administered to or taken by another person with the intention of stupefying or overpowering that person so as to enable any person to engage in a sexual activity with that person. You see these things happen oftentimes when people are being raped. All these things I'm saying are the things that can occur in a business or workplace. Then next slide, please. Political violence, very interestingly, the act also carries a political violence, meaning that an attempted act of violence perpetrated in the course of political activities, such as elections, and includes any of the following acts: thuggery, mugging, use of force to disrupt meetings, or the use of dangerous weapons that cause bodily harm or injury. Do you know the meaning of mugging, students? You don't know the meaning of mugging? Okay, I just captured it the way it is in that place. Mugging means snatching, back snatching, stealing, theft. Where you see people like even in the election or even as you are going, somebody mugs you and picks your bag or thereabout and runs away, or even your phone. Violence by state actors. In this case, what this implies is that any person arrested without due authorization is violence by state actor. The state actor is the government or a group organization. That is violence by state actors. Then you also have indecent exposure. This means the intentional exposure of the genital organs or a substantial part thereof with the intention of causing distress to the other part. That is the meaning of indecent exposure. Some people do intentionally do that to attract the opposite side. Then, pay attention here, especially students. Sexual abuse. You will see more of sexual this, that, meaning they are different. Sexual abuse, what does it mean? According to the law, the act, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, it means any conduct which violates, humiliates, or degrades the sexual integrity of any person. That is sexual abuse. Next slide. Again, you have sexual assault. This means intentional and unlawful touching. When somebody touching you and you don't like it. Striking or causing of bodily harm to an individual in a sexual manner without his or her consent. This could also happen in office. Sexual exploitation. This occurs where perpetrators, for financial or other reward, favor or compensation, invites, persuades, engages or induces the services of a victim or offers or performs such services to any other person. And that is what the Trafficking in Persons Act called exploiting the position of another person. And that takes me to the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Act. We are not going after prostitutes. Not that we are following prostitutes. The act. If on your own you are doing it, that is your business. But if somebody is now exploiting you, that is where we come in, and that is what is meant by exploiting somebody's prostitution. Then we have sexual harassment, means unlawful conduct of sexual nature or other conduct based on sex or gender, which is persistent or serious and demeans, creates a hostile or intimidating environment, and this may include physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct. Next slide, please. I will be done in the next few minutes. Sexual intimidation, listen to these two. Any action or circumstance which amount to demand for sexual intercourse with either a male or female under any guise, as a condition for passing examination, securing employment, business patronage, obtaining any favor in any form as defined in the act or any other enactment. The actual demand for sexual intercourse with either a male, female under any guise as a condition for passing examination, securing employment, business patronage, obtaining any favor in any form as defined in the act or any other enactment. Again, also, sexual intimidation, next slide, means acts of deprivation, withholding, replacing, or changing of entitlement, privileges, rights, benefits, examination or test, marks or scores, and any other form of disposition capable of coercing any person to submit to sexual intercourse for the purpose of receiving reprieve thereto. Or last, any other action or inaction construed as sexual intimidation or harassment under any enactment. Next slide. Having said all these things as contained in the Trafficking in the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, then what are we doing as an agency established by government? Under what we do, we have what we call 5 Ps. Under the 5 Ps, we have policy, that is policy documents, and then other policy we can initiate. Under that, we have the Trafficking in Persons Law, which also aids us in fighting gender-based issues, because what we see, like I have told you earlier, majority of the trafficked persons are usually girls, young girls, and all the forms of what you see as forms of gender-based violence are always seen in whatever they pass through. So through that same fight against human trafficking, we also covering the issue of gender-based violence. Then we also have the issue of Violence Against Persons Act that came up, and it was given to us. We are the one handling it, like I said earlier. Then we have the launching of the National Sexual Offenders Register, which was a bold step to end rape and gender-based violence and other forms of sexual exploitation. It is a documentation of reported, arraigned, or convicted cases of sex violations or abuse as defined by the VAP Act 2015. Then we also have a national gender policy. NAPTIP in question eliminate all forms of gender-based discrimination within its operations and activities. Develop this policy for the process of mainstreaming gender in all activities. That's what we do. Next, under prevention, we talk about all strategies like what I'm doing here to carry out enlightenment activities to ensure that people get to know about gender-based violence, the forms, and what to do and what not to do. On that same, like I told you earlier, we have been establishing an active VAP Vanguard. A Vanguard is good like a club where we let the students know about gender-based violence and how to campaign about it within their school, teach among themselves what they need to know and what they need to do. Then we have also protection. This involves rescuing and protecting the rights of victims. Then we have prosecution, which entails arresting, investigation, and prosecution of suspected offenders. Then we have partnership, which is actually what we are doing here. We partner with any relevant stakeholder, just like as we're partnering with people today. Then, like I told you earlier, it's unfortunate, we don't prosecute cases of gender-based violence here in Lagos. The act is only for FCT, but we are free to carry out the campaign. But if any case comes to us as the first respondent, we refer to the Domestic and Sexual Agency of Lagos State. And why we do not prosecute is that there is already an existing law, by the existing law by the government that handles that covers all these things. But we work together. And also not mean that if you call us on 627 for human trafficking or for this particular one, toll free, we will know what to do and what to tell you. Thank you so much, and God bless all of us.
So while that sinks in, we'll also be having another paper, and this one is Modeling Women for Career and Business Growth. The first one is beautiful, but if you ask me, I'll say this is why we are here. This is the money matter. How do you improve yourself, your career and in business? To handle that, we'll have our very own esteemed managing partner of Temerity International Experts Limited, Madam Temilade Oguni. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you, Ma. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I stand on existing protocol. My name is Temilade Oguni, as he had mentioned. I think a couple of us know or know me. And then when I was sent this topic, I was like, yes, this is apt for us to be able to pass the message across to other people. So the topic is modeling women for career and business growth. And I think this is a very, very important topic for most of us that are women. For me, I like to be very interactive when I'm having sessions as this. And I also like to ask questions, so while communicating. So modeling women, I think it's one that is very, very important for us to grow within whatever field we would like to venture into, especially for the younger generations that are here. And this introduces us to a lot of things, that a lot of activities that we think we can do. And even if you're mentors, there are areas where you need to also cover to help the younger generation. What does modeling mean? Modeling women means using successful women in business as role models and examples to inspire and guide other women in their own career development and entrepreneurial pursuits, highlighting the strategies, achievements, and overcoming challenges to encourage female leadership and business participation. And I think this is very straightforward. I don't think we really need any explanation. So I cited examples of people who have succeeded. Interestingly, we have a mix of international foreigners, and then we brought it home. So we have Elizabeth Holmes, who started a company at 19. Do we have any 19-year-old here? I know we have older 19. Not yet. Anyway, you can plan ahead, right? So Holmes founded a company when she was 19 years old at Stanford University that would eventually change the medical world. She has over 80 patents in her name and a net worth of $4.6 billion. A class she took at Stanford is now widely available online with Dr. Channing Robertson, a very influential professor in her life. She claims to work from the time she wakes up until she goes to sleep, a lifestyle akin to that of a friend and game changer Elon Musk. She also claims to work as hard for similar reasons. What matters are words. What matters is how well we do in trying to make people's lives better. That's why I am doing this. That's why I work the way I work. And that's why I love what I'm doing so much. What amazes me is that she is a Stanford dropout at 19 years. She didn't go further. She left school at 19 years, and which is not a mark against women, right? If you're a dropout, it doesn't mean that you can't still make progress. It doesn't mean that you can't still do something. Neither does it mean that you can't go back to school. But instead, a positive thing for other women in the tech industry to look up to. This leads me to my main point. If you want something, it doesn't matter what it is, what you look like, or where you come from. As long as you are deeply passionate, work with an unparalleled intensity, aim to help people, you can become absolutely anything you want to be. Just never stop and never quit. Next, Pratiksha Tongwalker is Indian, right? She started as a sweeper, a cleaner, someone that was looked at as a non-entity, someone that everyone thought would go nowhere. But she had a plan. She was a cleaner. She became, from being a cleaner, she was actually captured by people, captivated by people around her. Like, this lady is really good. She's dedicated, right? And then, a starting point, which is her journey, is she began her career as a sweeper at SBI branch in Mumbai. She was yet to complete her high school education at that time because there were no funding. She came from a very poor background. Challenges and determination. Despite facing financial constraints and personal hardships, Patricia was determined to seek a better life for herself and her son. She worked tirelessly. She had a child out of wedlock. She worked tirelessly and she was determined to seek a better life for herself and her son. She worked tirelessly, cleaning rooms, dusting furnitures, and sweeping the branch premises for a meager monthly income. She didn't care about the salary. She was like, I need to just make a living, and I need to show everyone that I can do well, and I can do more. Education. Pratisha didn't stop there. She enrolled in Wright College in Mumbai, using her hard-earned money with the support of her co-workers. She pursued her studies and graduated with a degree in psychology in 1995. Her dedication and diligence caught the attention of everyone around her, even the workers of SBI. And then because of that, they kind of wanted to support her because she had already extended a hand to want to do better, right? So they now started seeing people contributing money for her to further her education because that was her passion. That was what she wanted to do. She wanted to further her school. She wanted to earn better. She wanted to make her life better. She wanted to make her son better. And because she was helping people, she ensured that the work that was placed in her hands, she was doing it diligently with her heart and mind, right? It was easy for people to want to say, I need to help you. I want to help you. Take this money to support your education. And Patricia's relentless perseverance paid off. She was promoted from sweeper to clerk, and her upward trajectory continued. Over the years, she climbed the organizational ladder from scale 4 to chief general manager and finally to AGM. Then SBA recognized her exceptional achievement and commitment. Personal life. She faced personal tragedies, including becoming a widow at a young age. Her second marriage to Pramod Tongwalker provided her with a support and encouragement to pursue her banking career. Inspiration and recognition. Her story has inspired many, emphasizing that hard work and determination can shape your destiny, right? So that's for Pratisha. Follow Rishala to that. So we're bringing it home, right, to every one of us. These are people that are like us. She came from a white family, but she was lucky. She was born in the UK, or I think maybe she spent a part of her life in the UK. So she started her career in banking, and then she was able to develop herself from there. She moved from there to working with First National Bank in Chicago, and then executive secretary and managing director. She became the head of the corporate affairs department of the International Merchant Bank of Nigeria, and later became the office assistant to the Treasury Department. She then studied fashion design at the American College in London and the Central School of Fashion. She started a fashion label called Supreme Stitches, renamed it as Rose of Sharon House of Fashion in 1996. She was the president and lifelong trustee of the Fashion Designers Association. In May 1993, they were looking around. Oh, there are OMLs available. And she was very good at her fashion, right? Those days, you would look at fashion designers as just fashion designers. But because she was diligent in the fashion designing, when they were going to sell off OML, whatever, they looked at her like, oh, I can actually do it. And then they felt, okay, let's try you with it. And she did very well with it, right? Today, she's one of the richest men in the world. If she was not diligent with the little she was doing, they would not have considered her for the next level. If she had not thought of leaving her space for something different, she would not be where she is today. Next, Mrs. Okonjo, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She also had a very good background. She was lucky, she grew up and then she found herself in the World Bank, rising to become the managing director for operations from 2007 to 2011. She served as Commissioner Emeritus and co-chair of Global Commission on the Economy and Climate. She was Nigeria's finance minister under President Obasanjo. From there, President Goodluck Jonathan saw the good work that she did, and he felt, let's retain this lady. And she was retained. In 2005, Euromoney named her Global Finance Minister of the Year. It's a very big achievement. She then became the Director General of the World Trade Organization. When you don't do well with the little placed in your hands, there is no way you can become bigger. You would only remain in that little space. Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, she began her career at the youth service in Kano, working as an audit trainee at Akintola Williams. And then she later joined Alibert Nigeria Limited, a furniture company, from where she founded her own Sokwa Chair Center. From there, she's a fellow of the African Leadership Initiative and Aspen Global Network. She's a member of Nigerian Economic Summit Group, the board of the Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund, and a former chairperson of the board of trustees of Women in Management, Business, and Public Service. In 2011, she founded the After School Graduate Development Center to address unemployment in Nigeria. On September 7, 2015, she made history by becoming the first female chairman of First Bank. She also serves as IESC's International Advisory Board and sits on the boards of Digital Jewel Limited and Cadbury. If they were not ambitious enough to move to the next level, we would not be hearing of them today. Next. Catherine Uju Ifekija. So these are women within oil and gas and maritime now. She obtained her basic education at University Primary School, Nsukka, and her secondary education at Queen's School, Enugu, and others. She graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, with a diploma in law and LLB. She served as a required she served a required NYC at Texaco, and went from there into Chevron, Texaco and Chevron. She joined Texaco as a junior counsel in 1987. She spent 2 years at Texaco Overseas Petroleum Limited from 1988 to 1989 and was acting chief counsel by 1991. This gave her the experience in upstream and downstream sector. Sometimes your experience is enough for you to move out. You don't have to remain in that box. Your experience is good for you to go and make a difference outside, right? That way you can become an employer. That way you struggle or you thrive. So she had to step out to go into politics at first, and then she now went into Britannia Hay. Today, she is the chairperson and CEO of Britannia Hay. It's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and she's believed to be one of the 6 most powerful women in oil and gas in the world, and one of the richest women in Africa. She has received several awards in her business. Next. And I think this is the last one. Mrs. Astrop. You would have been hearing of it for those in maritime. She is from a not too influential background, but she was determined that she was going to make a difference. Now, she started her career in NNPC meticulously for 23 years, rising through the ranks to attain the position of Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy. Today, she is the Vice Chairman and a significant shareholder of ENL Consortium, Apapa. She's also the Chairman, Seaport Terminal Operators Association. Mind you, Seaport Terminal Operators, she is the only female in that association, and she was made the leader. Does that speak anything to you? I appreciated the fact that he came to represent a female, right? And she came to represent the commissioner. A female came to represent the commissioner, and he came to represent a female. We rarely see that happen, but it's happening. So she graduated as in business management from the Auburn College, London. She also studied in the following institutions of higher learning: London Business School, London Corporate Training Center, Pittman Central College, London. Now, she had an interview with Vanguard some years ago, so I was able to stumble on that. And they asked her a question: do you have any experience or education in the maritime sector prior you coming into the business? And she said to them, not at all. But I developed myself. I did research and sought for advice and help when necessary. Before, when you're asking for help, it was like a sign of weakness. Today, asking for help is a strength, right? One thing I want everyone to know, there's something called diversity. Diversity means your own brain can be at the back. My brain can be on the side, on the left side. Your brain can be on the right side. Some brains can be in the front, right? It means everyone bring it together to make a head. So you cannot know it all. So when you ask for help, it's not a weakness, it is a strength. Like, I don't know it. I would like to learn from you because I can see that you know it. Can you please help me so that I can speed up? And you give yourself a timeline. So that is the way it works. She said, especially with people who have been in the industry and they're obliged accordingly. Because at that time, she was very humble. She said, oh, okay, please help me. I don't understand. What does this mean? And people would always want to help because she came with the heart of, I want to know it. I don't know it all, but I want to know it. And people were there to help. I also learned on the job, and within 6 months, I was able to explore beyond expectation. It was as if I had an experience of 20 years, and that was what makes me a woman. What a man can do, a woman can do. But the woman must be ready to do that better. Otherwise, you remain on that spot. Your husband will be rubbing your head, providing food to the table, buying you pants, buying you bra. Not abortion. This is where we should learn from people who have done it, who have weathered the challenges. You can read about several other women. They've done fantastically well. They are not timid. I will tell you my story so that everyone can learn. And she said, woman has no limitation. It's a fact. When you walk into an office, the way they will attend to you, especially when you are properly dressed, right? You don't have to be so beautiful. It's not important. Be properly dressed. It's not like you're dressed halfway naked and people are looking at you. What's she coming for? No. You properly dressed. You're coming with a purpose. They see you as someone who has a purpose for walking into the office. And you would see a lot of men wanting to help you. It is very important. And she said, women have no limitation. It's a fact on what she can do. The capacity is huge, right? You're living in Festac, you're living in Apapa, Ajegule, you're living in the maritime sector and you are suffering. Oh God, please look for a mentor. You have not done enough. There is more to be done. Ask Mr. Kingsley, he has a lot of mentors on his records. Ask him for one, he will help you. And the mentors will be ready to assist. Okay? The capacity is huge when a woman is encouraged. Just the way my husband encouraged me to do. Sometimes you can see the women that we've reviewed, most of them were helped by men. I don't know if anything was between them, but we don't care. Maybe some of them, nothing was between them, but they were helped by men. I think that's one thing that is still missing amongst we women. Mr. Kingsley mentioned it. We are not seeing women raising women. Maybe we will be able to break that barrier fully soon. But even if it's a man that you find around you to help you, please take advantage of that opportunity. It comes once in a while. It's not always around you. Whatever association you find yourself or meeting you find yourself, take advantage of it. It's called networking. The foundation of success, mindset. What are the unique attributes for career and business growth? There are some attributes you would have that people will want to help you naturally, right? When you have some funny behaviors that doesn't make people attracted to you, by the time you walk up to them, they want to run. You are coming this way, they want to run that way. You are going nowhere. You are going nowhere. Now, mindset is, you see it, your mind is already positive, like, I can do it. When you have it as a, I can do it, it's spiritual. It comes to the physical. I can do it mindset alone brings that success to your table. But when you have this mindset of, oh, it's difficult, and you run away from it, you're going nowhere. You remain on that same spot for many years. Your juniors will come and be your senior, right? So mindset is the foundation of success, and a growth mindset embraces change. So I can remember when I was coming up in my career, right? Whenever they say this thing is tough, I'll tell them, okay, put me there. You say, tell me, is the toughest? Yes, put me on that one. My people, the toughest is where you will learn most. When it is simple, you would not learn. you would remain an idle water. Next, embrace new challenges. Why would you be on a job for 20 years? Why would you be on the same spot for 20 years? Where do you want to grow to? What have you learned? By the time you spend 20 years on the same spot, you've become obsolete after 20 years. Especially when you're working in an organization where there is no dynamism. Things are done the same way, year in, year out. Now we are tech, AI. You are still passing papers around. And you are in the same organization you have lost 10 years back. There's still a time for improvement. You can still change even at 50. You can still do something different at 50. It's a challenge for every one of us. Successful individuals don't merely accept challenges, they actively seek them out. Right? When I'm in a place and they tell me, oh, tell me his stuff, I'm like, it's when it's tough that we weather it now. There are opportunities in those toughness. Let's do for that opportunity. That's it. And we find the opportunities and we make more money. All the organizations that have worked, they still call back to say, oh, what do you think we can do here? Because you've groomed yourself to be that way. Not having this limited mindset, limited brain, where you've not added anything, any value to yourself over years or over the years. When faced with unfamiliar territory, they view it as an opportunity to expand their capabilities rather than a threat to their existing expertise. Those are people that are ready for success. Next, commitment to acquiring new knowledge. I remember those days when I moved into the port, I thought that the competition was was deeper than I thought. Right? And it was competition between myself and the male. We were like 2 or 3 females in the almost leadership level amongst several men, over 200 men. How would you do it? And we did it. Commitment to acquiring new knowledge. Read and research. You have to keep reading and reading and reading. You have to keep improving on your knowledge. Participate in professional development programs. I said to myself, I need to go for my master's. I don't want a station where I want the next level and they tell me, oh, you only have a BSc. You can't, without a master's, you cannot take the next level. And I went for the master's, self-sponsored, right? I didn't wait to go and ask organization and I'll write, the letter would stay for 2 years before you can move to the next level. And now a PhD. You have to keep improving yourself. Seek mentor relationships. I've said it before. Mr. Kingsley, hold on to his shirt. He will find you a mentor. Experiment with new technologies. Don't be archaic. Archaic is now a thing of the past. Now it's what is next. Your children can even help you. Right? Your children can sometimes help you. Please hold on to them. And please, while you are looking at yourself to move to the next level, make sure you are not leaving your children behind. Otherwise, they will be at the back end when their mates have gone ahead. Okay? Your children are not competing with only Nigerians. In another 10, 20 years, they will be competing with Chinese and Indians. The world will be fully global. Now it's now remaining where they will sit. When Chinese are sitting and doing things in 5 seconds, they are doing it in 23 hours. So you need to start dragging your children on that line. Adapting to industry trends. I think I mentioned it in the course of my explanations. Break out of the comfort zone. Don't remain on the same seat. Don't remain on the same space. Don't be out. I'm comfortable here. I don't want to move. Hey, the world will move beyond you. So don't remain on your comfort zone. Growth happens at the edge of discomfort. When you move, that's when your growth happens. If you see people that have been in the same bank, they wouldn't have moved as much as people that have gone round, because the people that have gone round have had multiple experiences across different places. So there is an organization whose mouth is wide open, wanting to adopt them, like this one has gone round, has experienced so many, right? So this is now you that we need. And the next thing you hear that someone is made the MD because he has gained vast experiences, more than people that started with him but remained on the same spot. Take on projects Take on projects that are slightly beyond your current expertise. If they say, oh, okay, who can do it? Even if you can't do it, raise up your hand. Take it. Go and do research. Ask for help. People will help you. Never sit on your comfort zone. Network with professionals outside your field. Embrace constructive criticism. Some of us run away from criticism. By the way, I also had the same challenge at the beginning of my career, even at the middle ages. When they say, no, tell me you are not good at this, I will get angry, like, what is it? But today, when I'm doing anything, I look for people to criticize me because I want a different opinion more than my view. Today is another leadership level. You look for people to criticize what you are doing. That's when you can record success. Resilience isn't an innate trait. It is a skill that successful people deliberately cultivate. You have to be resilient. I need to be successful. I need to make it. Resilience. Resilience. Convert setbacks into stepping stones, even if there are setbacks. Take it again. Learn something. Where did I get it wrong? And take your steps from there. Look for people that can help you. Like, how did I get it? Can you help me view this? How did I get it wrong? Okay, I can see. Then you learn your lessons and it gets better. Identify valuable lessons from each challenge. Every challenge you encounter, identify your lessons. Every challenge, identify your lessons. Use failures as market research data. Build stronger strategies based on past experiences. Share lessons learned to help others grow. For me, I looked for mentor in anyone I see around me that is better than me. Right? I had older people, older relatives, co-workers that are better than me. I'll tell you, please, can you help me here? I don't understand it, you know. And then from there, you see that by the time you give yourself a timeline, you are better than you were when you started. Next. For people who would like to model us, or who would like to model younger generations or younger people, always share your success stories, please. Interviews, always interview people that are successful. Don't envy them. There's still a room for you. The room is really wide for everyone to succeed. Profiles, read their profiles. Case studies of successful female entrepreneurs and executives in various media outlets. You will always have it. Highlighting how they overcame their challenges. Sharing stories of how women have navigated obstacles like gender bias, work-life balance, and lack of access to funding. Those days I never wanted to hear, oh, okay, you're a female, we are male. So today people call me female like male. Because, I mean, how can you work in a port environment and rise up to that level? And at the point where I'm like, no, I've done enough, I want to exit. Let me go and do something different, right? So, and that's it. Promoting diversity and inclusion, and it's for many of us women. Please, when you have to recruit, look for women. But it has to be based on merit. Look for women. Oh, some women, they say, oh, I want the man to work, overwork. So you don't want women because you know that they will get pregnant, they will have babies, and then maybe the body will be on you for some time. No, it doesn't work that way. Please, raise other women, support other women. It's very, very important. Role model effect. Provide visible examples of successful women for young girls and women to aspire. We've gone through it already, and that's where we are. Policies and procedures. Anybody that has organizations here, please, if you are one of the policy influencers amongst us, please, always push for policies that support women. It's very, very important. Support initiatives that are women-driven. It's very important. Empowerment. Hey, some people will be, because they are madam, oh, don't touch, don't go. Because you don't want the person to become visible. Either you like it or not, that person will become visible, right? Don't be intimidated because someone knows better than you. No, learn from that person, even if that person is your junior. Don't frustrate that person. That young girl that you are frustrating will end up growing. You don't have a choice. It's called destiny. There's nothing you can do. But when this girl grows, she's going to help you in your later years. This is based on my experience. It is very important. Don't kill the younger generations in workplace. Rather, mentor them and support them. Talent development, very important. Develop other talents. It is also related to empowerment. Economic growth, I made it really small, intentionally. Even if your economy is not growing, it doesn't mean that we should not satisfy the basics that we have discussed in this session. And I think we've tried. I've taken a lot of time already. Thank you. Next. So, key components. A well thought out career development plan acts as a roadmap, guiding you through the steps necessary to achieve your development goals. If you don't have a goal, you cannot grow. When you started January, what do you want to become by December? Did you write anything out? How do you want to get there? Did you wait? Was it defined? If it wasn't defined, you are not getting anywhere. You better go and start your January in March. Or you can start your January in April. It's very, very important. You have to have a goal for people to be able to support you. So if you want to draft a goal, what do you go through? Assess your current skills. Where am I today? Where do I want to be? Goal setting. Define what career success looks like for you. Is it about achieving a challenging task? Probably. Landing a managerial role, maybe. If that's your goal, please, you have to define it. I want to work in NNPC. If you don't write it down and follow it, there's no way if you meet an NNPC MD, you won't be able to converse with that NNPC MD because you don't even have a goal. You don't even know the unit you want to work for in NNPC. If you don't, then you can't go anywhere. Learning and development. Sharpen yourself up. Learn new things. You have to keep learning and unlearning. Keep learning and developing yourself. Networking. Hey, anywhere you find yourself, make sure you network. Meet the people you've not met with here. And I think it's also a challenge for me because I've not met with Oga and everyone here very well. So I will do that. Mentorship. I've discussed it already. So please take it on. This slide is available with Chinwe. She can share it with everyone. You can look at it later. Google is your friend. Google more to learn. Take care. I wish you the best. I look forward to having one of you on this board or maybe 5 of us on this board. Thank you.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. So at this point, please give a round of applause for our special guest of honor, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose, who is here represented. Thank you. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Standing on the existing protocol. Good afternoon, everyone. We are on another section now, and it's a very, very important one as well. So please, I want everybody to please pay attention. And because we're talking about money here and business here. Yeah, but before I go ahead, I'm here representing my Honorable Commissioner in person of Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebe. At the same time, representing my director in person of Mrs. Olufumilayo Zuleka Ibrahim. Good afternoon again. Bobby, when we're in this kind of a gathering, when we talk about cooperative, there's a way we greet each other. We have our slogan. And is there anybody that has been part of any cooperative here? Is there anyone that has been part of cooperative here? Do we have anybody being part of a cooperative here? We don't have any, okay? When we are in a gathering like this, when I say cooperative, the first time you say oneness, the second time you say power, and the third time you say progress. Cooperatives, cooperative, cooperative. So that's the way we will be greeting each other when we are in our cooperative meeting. So please let's take note of that. The executive of the cooperative society. Yeah, what is cooperative? Cooperative is the autonomous association of people voluntarily joined together in order to meet our economic, socio-cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned organization. You want to start a company today. And the company will be called WoFHoF Festac Cooperative Multipurpose Society. Thank you very much. It's our home company. All the women under the WoFHoF want to have their own company today. And what do we need to do? We need to take it so seriously. Let me quickly run through a brief history about cooperative. The most successful cooperative society was recorded in the year 1844, and the society was called Rochdale Pioneer of England. How did they even come about it? At a point, most of the men then were employed in all these industries, factories and all that. They were factory workers at that time. But because of the invention of machineries and all these equipments, a lot of them were relieved of their jobs. So what do? They couldn't, they were no more responsible at home. They couldn't even afford to feed the family any longer. And they couldn't even sit down and fold their hands like that, looking at the families. So they had to think of something. Then they thought, okay, well, we've been working in factories, we'll be making foods, we'll be making sugar, we'll be making juice, we'll be making different kind of foods for people. Let's see what we can do. They joined with some weavers, some basket weavers, 12 of the basket weavers, and some like 20 of the factory workers that were relieved of their jobs. And they decided to come together and started doing something. And at that point, they were doing it diligently. They were devoted to this thing, and they were doing even better than those industries that were using machineries. And do you know what? Before you know it, they started growing. They started having more members. They started, doing so much wonderfully well that they were even selling more than those industries that had machineries. And because they were devoted, they were, they had their laws, and they were, abiding by the laws that was guiding that activity at that time. So now today, we have majorly we have 3 types of cooperative. We have the camps. I'm trying to be very fast because of the time. So we have 3 types. Majorly we have 3 types of cooperative. We have the camps, that is a cooperative agricultural multipurpose society, and that is mostly formed among the farmers. When you see farmers around, those people that plant vegetables and some other things like that, those ones are the people that form that kind of cooperative. What do? They, at times they contribute their money together so that they can, buy seedlings, buy fertilizers, buy them, employ the activity of machineries to clear their farmlands for plantation and all that. Then the second one, we have the CTC, that the Cooperative Thrift and Credit Society. That is majorly for just saving and accessing loan alone. You can't do any other thing with that cooperative society. But I'm glad this society is going to be registered as the third one, that is the Cooperative Multipurpose Society. In this type of cooperative society, what do? We do the normal thing, that is the savings. We can access loans, and at the same time, we can also do some other official, legitimate activities. We can venture into any business of our choice, but that legitimate. We can't take our cooperative money to buy rice at Kotonu. Why? Is anybody going to answer that? Why? We can't use our cooperative money. Is it not productive? Can we use our money to buy rice at Kotonu? Can we? Why? It's not a legitimate business. Yes, because custom can seize our produce. What will now happen to the cooperative money? So that's why we have to, we are always stressing that word, legitimate business. So please, when we are venturing into any investment of our choice, please, we have to remember that legitimate business. Then also, for us to access loan, the law in Lagos State says that you can only access ×2 of your savings. ×2 of what? And before you can even become a financial member of the cooperative, you must have saved for 6 consecutive months for you to be called a member of the cooperative society. What did I say? If you are starting, let's say for instance, we are starting by the end of March, let's say you want to be saving monthly. Let's just assume you save in March, you save in April, May, June, July, August. Then you become what? You become a financial member of the cooperative. But if you save in January and forgot to save in March, in April and March, and you want to save in April, in May, you are not going to become a financial member yet until you have saved for 6 consecutive months. Then we cannot all access loan at the same time. So we have to take it bit by bit. So after 6 months, we can begin to start giving out loans to members. We can begin to start giving loans to members. So if you have 100,000 naira, for instance, how much are you going to access as loan? It's going to be an interactive one. We need to understand it. 200,000 naira, thank you very much. And then, in cooperative, we don't ask for collateral. We only ask for guarantors. And those guarantors must be members from within the cooperative. We need to. If you have 100,000 naira, you want to access how much? 200,000 naira. So my guarantors must have how much? 50,000 naira each. And that's why we say in cooperative, when we follow the laws and when the loan is well given, we have recovered our cooperative money at that time. Because my 100,000 naira is there, my guarantor is 50,000 naira. What happens to it? Yeah, we merge it together. We have that money at that moment. So that is why we have to follow the law. We're going to give you the bylaw by the time we are done with the registration of the cooperative. So please, we need, do we have the executives here? Please, they have to be very attentive. They have to be very attentive. They need to understand what cooperative is all about. And it's a very good one. It empowers us. It creates job opportunities for us. It imbibes saving culture even in us. We don't want to use all our 10 fingers to hit. So we want to be keeping some aside for the rainy days. And we don't collect collateral in cooperative. We don't use cooperative money for Owambe. Or better, yes. Even for weddings. People will say, but it's wedding. Yes, whatever you have at that moment, use the money for the celebration. You don't have to let people take ashwebi or anything. It's not that important. What is important is we want to eradicate poverty.
And so therefore, we're having a new baby today. So anybody that refuses to pay back the loan, we have tax force in the office. And we have rooms at Marcy for anybody that feels I am too big to pay back loans. And I pray that will not be our portion. So we have a new baby today. Baby of the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment. And the baby will be called WoFHoF. Women of Fortune, Hall of Fame, Festa Cooperative Society. Are we happy to see it? Are we all happy about this? Yeah. Are we all so let's give ourselves a round of applause, please. I pray this society will grow from strength to strength, from grace to grace. It will be heard all over the world for greatness in Jesus' name. And so congratulations to you all. Okay, the president, please, can we have you here? Mrs. Please make sure.
Neka.
Mrs. Neka. The vice president, please.
I am Mrs. Abiodun.
Mrs. Abiodun. The general secretary.
I'm Mrs. Joyce.
Thank you. The treasurer, please.
I am Mrs. Uju.
And finally, the financial secretary.
Mrs. Sandra Olika.
Do you know them? Yeah. Are we pleased to have them on board? Yeah. All right. Okay, Ibia is supposed that these 5 people should be the people to direct the affairs of the society for the next 2 years. Please say yay. Yay. The second time. Yay. The third time. Yay. On a contrary opinion, please say nay. The second time, if you have any other contrary opinion, please say nay. And the third time, if you have any other contrary opinion, please say nay. Then the yeas have it. Your hand on your chest and please say after me. I. Please mention your name. Please your right hand on your chest and hope you feel the way your heart is beating. So please, we want you to be very nice and be good to our people and take care of our monies appropriately. Please say after me. Hi. And mention your name, please. After being duly elected. Which one the position you heard?
As the president of
mention the name of the society.
WoFHoF Multipurpose Cooperative Society. Do solemnly declare
that I shall abide
by
laws and regulations.
By the laws and regulations.
Guiding cooperative of Lagos State.
Guiding the cooperative.
I shall pursue
I shall pursue
the collective goals
the collective goals
of my society
and objective of my society,
uphold its bylaw
and uphold the bylaw
and cooperative values for the benefits
and cooperating minds of the benefit
of its members. I shall be removed from office
I shall be removed from office
if I fail to perform my duties
if I fail to perform my duties
in accordance with section 6.8 of the model bylaw.
6.8 of the model bylaw.
I shall be removed from office
I shall be removed from office
if I exceed the maximum credit limit
if I exceed the maximum credit limit
of a society
in
accordance
with the operational guidelines
issued by the director of cooperatives from time to time. I shall discharge my duties without fear or favor and be guided at all times by the registered bylaws of my society, the cooperative society laws of Lagos State, Cap 2 year 2022,
of year 2022,
and the operational guidelines that may be issued
by the director of cooperative
from time to
time.
I shall do all things possible and within my power and provisions of the law for the progress of my society and cooperative movement of Lagos State. So help me God. Congratulations, ma'am.
WoFHoF Cooperative Multipurpose Society, oneness. WoFHoF Cooperative Multipurpose Society, WoFHoF Cooperative Multipurpose Society. Yes. So, my name is Neka Chinyere Ejirigo. I'm the president for WoFHoF Cooperative Multipurpose Society, and you are welcome to this great inauguration of the society. Thank you. You are all welcome. And first of all, what is cooperative? As we know, cooperative is an association of persons or organizations that is owned and controlled by people with common goals for economic, social, and cultural needs. As aspiration through a jointly owned and democratically controlled business. WoFHoF Multipurpose Cooperative Society was born on the bedrock of rising desires for people to have access to easy funds to improve their economic value and status. WoFHoF Multipurpose Cooperative Society is comprised of both men and women of various walks of life. It also will work as an avenue for existing corporate associations to form a partnership for growth of every member. WoFHoF Multipurpose Cooperative is an offshoot of MMF WoFHoF initiative, formed with the objective for mentorship, leadership, and wealth empowerment for business and career men and women, and also people at the grassroots. WoFHoF Multipurpose Cooperative ensures that people are gainfully engaged in business vocational duties with periodic mentoring exercises, workshops, and financial support through entrepreneurial credit and grants to new and existing members. On this bedrock, WoFHoF Cooperative Multipurpose Society is introducing various products for members to key into to have access to their funds. we have WoFHoF Investment and Savings Scheme. As the name implies, it gives you an avenue to save, and as you are saving, you are also investing. And at the end of every year, when we do our AGM, we are expected to share dividend for all members that have saved. That savings is always been invested in various ventures that will yield the cooperative interest and profits, and will now be shared to all members according to your savings in the cooperative. Then we have WoFHoF Empowerment Loan. This WoFHoF Empowerment Loan is a credit asset for members that you have access to. And for you to have access to it, you must have done a particular savings, and you have ×2 of what you saved, depending on what the loan you want. And it comes, you can pay within 6 months, 1 year, or 1.5 months, as the case may be. And each of these months have their various interest rates. You must also, your guarantors must also be members of the society, of the cooperative. It must not be an outsider. The cooperative, your guarantors or your surety must be also a member, and each of those guarantors must also have up to your loan amount for you to qualify, for you to get that loan. And we encourage all that will have access to that loan to please pay up, so as other members will also enjoy from such credit facilities, and also your sureties too will also enjoy from it. Because if you decide to go on a shortfall by not paying, your sureties will also not be able to have access to such credit. So please have that in mind. Then we also have WoFHoF Cooperative Cluster Society. It's just a means of where individuals in the cooperative society will come as a group in small clusters, and you do a kind of a contribution for yourselves depending on the level, you know, that you want. It's also a means of having direct funds also. Then you have a cooperative comprehensive portfolio. This comprehensive portfolio mostly is all about we go into partnership with corporate individuals, corporate bodies, organizations too that are not in cooperative, but they are united. We go into partnership with them, we manage their portfolio, and also a means of us also generating interest and profit at the end of the day, which increases our investment. Then we have WoFHoF Agri Scheme. It's basically for those in the agri sector. If you are in any agri sector, or you have people that are in the agri sector, you will have a scheme for them where they will key into it, have access to agricultural scheme from the government, be it state or federal government, as the case may be. Then we have WoFHoF Commodity Cluster. In this case, we are talking about where you make daily, monthly, or weekly contribution towards getting a particular amount of foodstuff at the end of every year or half a year. Like now, we are starting now, so we'll be looking at the end of the year. By next year, we'll be talking about quarterly, biannual, or yearly, as the case may be. So each of these is you contribute a particular amount of money on a daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on you. You are the one that is going to decide on how much you want to contribute for this commodity scheme. As its name says, commodity is all about foodstuff, because we know that towards the year end or towards festive season and all that, we always run into issues of trying to raise funds to buy foodstuff for the house, you know, to take care of ourselves. So with this, you easily save towards that, and at the end of the saving period, a particular quantity of amount of foodstuffs to be given to each and every member that have made savings towards it. There will be a list of the foodstuff for every amount that is being contributed, so you know what you're expected to receive at the end of that savings. So to have access to all this, you have to first and foremost formally register in the cooperative, and we have done it automated. You have to register online, everything will be done online. You view your membership, your saving status, your loan status, everything, even your loan application, everything will be done online. Your payment will be done online. No cash will be received in any hands at all. So at every point in time, when you want to get any loan or you want to make any savings, you go directly to the portal and make the payment. Even to do your registration, you will do it online. So thank you very much.